Texas. Creeping up on being the third largest city in the US, you were bound to be drawn here eventually.
Oh, Houston, let's go!
I mean, I was anyway. I lived and worked here for about 2 years, so I feel like a local whose duty is to sell the city. What's up guys, I'm Anna, and in this Things to Do in Houston: Ultimate Houston Travel Guide video, I'm going to go over absolutely everything you might want to know before you go, including how long you should stay, when you should stay, where you should stay, what to do there, a few Texas things, and where to go out. And I'll also throw in a few secret Houston unique and obscure attractions. But first, a little bit about Houston. Most people just know it as the home of NASA or the birthplace of Beyonce. Well, these things are obviously great. People in the area think of Houston as a really diverse industrial city that's built on the bayou and being flooded by millennials, that's like Dallas, but less douchey. So I'm sorry, but if you're hoping to see a cowboy here, you probably won't unless you go during the rodeo. It's also kind of in an interesting tweener stage. It's propelled by the oil and gas industries, which means there's a lot of money surging through, so the buildings and streets are up to date and relatively safe and clean. And the cost of living is super affordable. Hence the millennial migration. But it hasn't quite caught up to the interest it's pulled in and fully been fleshed out tourist attraction-wise, really making it a you need to live here to appreciate it kind of city. But let me try and combat this and help you plan exactly how to make the most of your Houston trip and see it how the locals see it. So first, how long should you stay? Like most places, this obviously depends on what you want to get out of your trip. But just to bang out the main attractions and get the gist of the city, a weekend's heaps. What I think is the more important question is when to visit. While it doesn't get snow cold here, it does get chilly.
Is it?
And one of the best aspects about Houston is its outdoor bar and restaurant scene. So, to see it at its liveliest, go in the warmer months. But honestly, if you have any choice in the matter, you are wasting your trip if you don't go during the rodeo, or for certain international visitors. If you want to experience a Southern Country extravaganza, this is it.
It's one rowdy cowboy throwdown.
People argue it's the biggest livestock show in the country.
For the world's biggest rodeo.
And it has a huge carnival attached with all of the best barbecue and Texy comfort food goodness you could ask for. And after the actual rodeo part of the show,
Where the stars light up the night underneath that Texas sky.
there are different top country artists that perform there every night. And, if you can, get tickets to their barbecue cook-off.
What goes into cooking at the barbecue cook-off?
A lot of time, a lot of cooking, this and that, with brisket, ribs, chicken, and sausage.
But if you're busy during February and March, the Art Car Parade could also be a cool, weird time to see the city.
Society must set the artist free.
Or I guess just any time in football or sports seasons in general, because like a lot of southern places, Texans do enjoy their sports games. Where to stay? This is kind of a tricky one because being more of a you need to live here to appreciate it kind of city that sprawls more than LA, all of the attractions are kind of spread out and every neighborhood technically has awesome going out areas once you know where to go. Downtown is probably your safest bet just because it's central to everything. And if you're staying downtown anyway, maybe stay at the Marriott because it's got a really cool giant Texas-shaped pool on the roof. Personally, I'm a bit salty because I've never been able to get in, but that's no reason you shouldn't experience it. Let me know how it is. One thing you should know though is downtown does have the odd reputation of turning into somewhat of a ghost town after 5 p.m, other than on Main Street and on weekends. Also, like LA, Houston is a driving city, so if you want a car, I think you do, and you want to stay downtown, I think you should, then just factor in parking costs. If not downtown, Midtown, Montrose, the Heights, and the Museum District are all great areas to stay in too. Basically, anywhere within the loop. Personally, after downtown, I'd recommend getting an Airbnb in Midtown or the Heights and staying near a strip of bars and restaurants just to really get a sense of the culture. Or if you're with a young family, the Museum District could be perfect because, no surprise, there's a lot of museums there. And also a lot of beautiful parks. Alright, now to the main thing you all probably clicked on this video for. What the heck should y'all do in Houston? So, I think there's probably about 10 mainstream, widely accepted things to do in Houston. So, I'm gonna run through those, but then after that, I'm gonna get into the weird stuff.
And here we go.
Number 1, obviously, NASA. My advice though, get there in the morning so you can spend as long as you want there and not have to stress out about choosing between the shows and the tours. The tours, they're long, but in my opinion, the best thing to do there. They currently have 2 options, the astronaut training facility and mission control. The astronaut training facility is kind of dope because it's active, so you might see astronauts walking around the center and sometimes using simulators, but mission control is the iconic.
Houston, we have a problem.
So if you're indecisive like me,
¿Por qué no los dos?
and they both ended a giant rocket ship that actually went into space. Pretty cool. Number 2, Discovery Green. This is just a really cute little park in the middle of the city that often has events going on, like free weekend yoga. And if you do go in the winter, they turn the little lake into an ice skating rink. Number 3, sports games. Texans show up for their teams, so go to an all-American pastime and see a baseball game at Minute Maid Park, ignore the banging, see the Rockets, or go to a Texans game. Either way, even the most non-sports person will get a kick out of the energy and atmosphere there. Oh my god. If you're lucky enough, see if there's Lucha Libre on while you're there, because that is an experience. Number 4, check out the water wall. This is just a really big waterfall, but you can get good pictures. 5, the Art Car Museum. Nicknamed the Garage Mahal, this is where artists have somehow made scrap metal, junk, and cars wondrous pieces of art. And it's currently free. Number 6, the beer scene is getting big in Houston, and Houstonians are pretty proud of their craft beer. So why not discern for yourself and go on a St. Arnold's or a Carbach brewery tour, or both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
7, the Hobby Center for Performing Arts. The Houston Theater District is second to New York City capacity-wise, so it has all of the biggest and best shows touring through. 8, the Museum District. Like I said, it has a lot of museums and art galleries, and I believe most are free at certain times on Thursdays. Also, technically I've never been, but I've heard the Butterfly Center is beautiful. Number 9, the Miller Outdoor Theatre. As the name suggests, it's a big outdoor theatre in Herman Park that has regular free shows running throughout the summer, making it a fun family outing or a cute picnic spot. Number 10, kind of cheating, but road trip somewhere else. On the whole, Texas is huge, but San Antonio, Dallas, and Austin are all only about a 3-hour drive away. Personally, I would suggest river tubing just outside of Austin. This is so much fun, especially if you're with a group of friends. Now, I mentioned that other than during the rodeo, you're probably not going to see a cowboy. If this is the main reason you want to go to Texas, don't be disappointed. Here are a few Texas things you can do to really make you feel like you're in Texas. Go to a gun range, shop at Cavendish Boot City, go to a mega church show, hold a baby gator at Gator Country Preservation. Or again, road trip. Drive a little outside of the city and explore the small country towns and hill country like Gruen or Bandera.
We all got a hillbilly bone down deep inside.
Now, as promised, the weird. I don't know what you were thinking about, but Houston loves to challenge Austin's weird art culture, which means there are plenty of cool photo opportunities here. There are a ton of graffiti murals across the city. I personally love the eclectic Menagerie Park. It's on the side of a highway and has a bunch of random giant sculptures. Hidden in a normal neighborhood, there's a house made of beer cans, the beer can house. The hours are limited, but the cisterns are pretty surreal. Not so weird, but notable, there's Houston's copycat Chicago bean, the refried bean. The Beatles are in Edo. And last, but certainly not least, there's the super weird Smither Park and the Orange Show. Now, the thing that I need to know in every new city, where to eat. Being a local city, Houston does food well. It's particularly known for its Tex-Mex barbecue, food trucks, and breakfast and brunch. To get a taste of these, try these spots. Just know though that if you go during breakfast time on a weekend, you're going when all of Houston is going, so you could end up lining up for about an hour. It's worth it. The food trucks rotate, so to be safe, just go out in Midtown, then wander the food truck row before you head home. Now, where to go out / nightlife in general. The four main hubs for going out in Houston are downtown, Midtown, Edo, and the Heights. And Montrose. I think Main Street downtown is the best area for bar hopping, so if you only have one night, this is probably your best bet. My go-to bars are Bad News Bar, Okra, Tongue Cut Sparrow, Dean's, and Sunny's to get the $1 Jello shots, but beware. And Etro's. And if you're looking for a late night snack, grab a slice at Roma's or Frank's. Midtown is king of the outdoor bar scene in Houston, so if you're looking to day to night drink, this is your spot. Most of the bars have a younger crowd and pretty much all of them have outdoor bar games, which gives it somewhat of a college-y reputation. But don't worry about that. My favourite spot's to bar hop between a Little Woodrow's. I don't know whether they'll still be doing it when you're there, but the turtle racing at Little Woodrow's is fun. Reflect for the city views, Pulp Fiction, and for a chill afternoon, Axelrad's great. The Heights is pretty similar to Midtown in that it's residential and you can still bar hop. I'd just say it's a little bit more spread out and a little classier than Midtown. My favourite spots are McIntyre's, Cedar Creek or Onion Creek, and Lalo. Edo is interesting. It's still very up and coming, so there isn't a huge range of options. But Truck Yard is probably one of my favourite spots in Houston. It's like a trailer park playground for adults. It also has a few really big sports bars and the brewery that has the Beatles. But it's growing every day, so maybe you can find the next big thing there and let me know in the comments below. If I mentioned Edo, I should probably mention Montrose too. It's small but really quirky and fun and one of the most welcoming areas. It's home to a large LGBTQ+ community that challenges the negative Texas stereotypes.
Adam and Eve, that's what was in the very beginning. Adam and Eve. Not Adam and Steve.
For Montrose, I'd suggest checking out Present Company and Hamburger Mary's. Alright, I feel like I've talked a lot, so I'm just going to summarize my overall tips. Go during the rodeo season or in the warmer months and make the most of the outdoor bars and parks. Stay downtown and use it as your hub. Rent a car or plan for Uber money. And if you're renting a car anyway and have the time, go on a Texas road trip. And, most importantly, enjoy H-Town, y'all! I'm sorry, I'm going to stick to Australian. Thank you for watching. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a like. Thanks!